Good evening and welcome to the national news broadcast on ChannelEye. We are ready to bring you the top stories from home and around the world. I'm Natalia Veeravaradhan.
Good evening, I'm Charita Minipurarachi, and let's move on to the headlines for tonight's news. Colombo District Court issues an enjoining order suspending the health strike action. Bill to amend the Prevention of Terrorism Temporary Provisions Act tabled in the Parliament today. Health authorities urge all to receive the COVID-19 vaccine as the risk of fatalities related to persons with physical disabilities remain high upon infection. World Health Organization says half of the global population have been inoculated with the COVID vaccine. On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with local stories. Colombo District Court has issued an enjoining order to suspend the trade union action which is underway disrupting the health service. The court order has indicated that the relevant enjoining order will be in effect until the February 24th. The complaint filed by the Attorney General was considered before Colombo District Court Judge Aruna Alutgama. The enjoining order has been issued against the Government Nursing Officers Association and its president, former UNP parliamentarian Saman Ratnapriya. The court has also ordered the respondents to appear before the court on the 24th. The Attorney General, filing the relevant complaint, appraised the court of the present deliberate conditions in hospitals due to the strike action launched by the respondent union based on unfair demands. Accordingly, he had further indicated that patients' care in hospitals has been severely affected due to this situation. Considering the submissions made in this regard, the District Court Judge issued the enjoining order to suspend the trade union action. Minister Kehelia Ramukwella said that reasonable facts were presented to the court by the Attorney General following deliberations with the Attorney General's Department over the measures which can be taken with the legal framework in the country. He said that the enjoining order has been issued after thoroughly considering the presented submissions.
ඉදිරිපත් කරලා තිබ්බා අධිකරණයෙන් අපට මේ සම්බන්ධව කරුණු දීර්ඝ වශයෙන් සාකච්ඡාවට ගැනීමෙන් පසුව වාරණ නියෝගයක් ඉදිරිපත් කරා.
The strike action launched by several trade unions in the health sector has continued for a fourth day. 18 health sector trade unions including nursing, supplementary and paramedical services launched the strike action based on several demands including salary anomalies. The strike action has been initiated across the country except for 9 main hospitals and 1 health institution. Many health services have been severely disrupted due to the ongoing protest action. The patients who have been gravely affected have commended the strike action. It has been alleged that the ongoing strike action has been led by a group of individuals including Ravi Kumbudesh and former UNP parliamentarian Saman Ratnapriya. Various entities have alleged that these individuals are leading this strike action for political intentions but not for the rights of the unions. Venerable Muruthettuwe Anandathero said that the responsibility of a trade union is to assist the development process of the country. Therefore, he pointed out that the intention of trade union should be pursued to win their demands while engaging in patients' care. Media spokesman of Government Medical Officers Forum Dr. Nirosh Premaratna said that the trade unions in the healthcare field emphasize over salary disparities based on a political issue. He demanded the trade unions to show the documents which they have presented to Yahapal and the government and the governments before the salary discrepancies. He further said that it is prevailing discrepancies are resolved, then the salaries may reduce than the present salary levels. He requested the government to appoint an expert committee to probe in this regard and reach to a common salary policy.
Meanwhile, the bill to amend the Prevention of Terrorism Temporary Provisions Act was tabled in the Parliament today. The Minister of Justice said that steps will be taken to amend this act in a manner to prevent any threats to the national security. Minister Ali Sabri said that all should commit towards the independent judiciary in the country without any political discrimination. He said that amendments have been introduced to the Prevention of Terrorism Act in order to revise the certain outdated provisions in the Act. He assured that the government will take steps to amend this Act in a manner to prevent any threats to the national security. He added that the detention period under the PTA Act has been reduced from 1.5 years to 12 months. Also, he said that the authority to inquire into the holding places of the suspects has been assigned to the magistrate. Furthermore, steps have been taken to provide the provisions to forward bail applications to the Court of Appeal, the minister added. Minister Ali Sabri said the Tamil parliamentarians have indicated that the introduced revisions are not sufficient. However, he pointed out that they were unable to bring sufficient amendments as they claimed during the Yahapalana government, which came into power with their support.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa visited and invoked blessings from the Jayasri Mahabodhi sacred site in Anuradhapura this morning. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa called on Chief Incumbent of Atamasthane and Chief Sanganayaka of North Central Province, Venerable Dr. Pallegama Srinivasa Thera, and inquired his well-being. Subsequently, the Prime Minister invoked blessings from the Jayasri Mahabodhi sacred site. Then the Prime Minister called on Chief Incumbent of the Ruwanwali Mahasaya and Chief Sanganayaka of Nuwara Kalawaya, Venerable Pallegama Hemarathana Thera. Former Chief Minister of North Central Province S.M. Ranjit was also present at this occasion.
Now on the pandemic situation here in the island, as health authorities say that risk of fatalities related to persons with physical disabilities remain high upon COVID-19 infection, despite the age category. Therefore, authorities have urged all to receive their respective vaccines accordingly. Meanwhile, health authorities have indicated that the possibility of a further spread of the virus prevails as a considerable number of asymptomatic patients exist in the society. In the meantime, a total of infected persons have been detected from the country today.
Considerable proportion of people are yet to receive the vaccine. I don't have exact figures at the moment. We know that a large number of people are still there who have not got a single dose of vaccine. This may be relatively small proportion, but still it is important for us that those who are eligible and capable and should get the vaccine as early as possible. So anyone who has not received their vaccine first dose, we always request to get their vaccines as early as possible. Then the next level is the second dose, and we have seen a considerable proportion of people who have received the first dose has not got the second dose, and there are so many reasons, but all these reasons already surfaced are mild, and these are not, we believe that these are not reasons for not getting the vaccine. For example, increased amount of pain, the fever, muscle pain, and some kind of sometimes the fainting attack or giddiness, or some people have got vomitish feeling, and all these things are nausea. All these things are mild problems that people have encountered, and the benefit of getting the vaccine is much more than these small petty side effects that we are experiencing. So therefore, it is again, I would like to urge everyone, anyone who has not got even the single vaccine, please get the first dose as early as possible, and then the second dose when the time comes, and third dose also as and when the time comes. That is a humble request for everyone, those who have not got their appropriate vaccine.
The Director General of Health Services confirmed today 31 COVID-related deaths which occurred yesterday. A total of 36,770,764 vaccine doses have been inoculated to the people in the country under the COVID-19 immunization program. Accordingly, 16,800,981 persons have received the first dose of the vaccine, while 14,027,528 have received both the doses. A total of 5,942,255 have received the booster dose thus far. The mobile vaccination programs conducted by Sri Lanka Army are being carried out successfully in many parts of the country. Accordingly, residents in Vellavaya area received their vaccines at the Mahinda Rajapaksa Conference Hall in Vellavaya.
And on the same note, moving to the world update, global COVID-19 cases has surpassed 400 million yesterday as a highly contagious Omicron variant dominates the outbreak, pushing healthcare systems in several countries to the brink of the capacity. The World Health Organization expects a more transmissible version of Omicron to increase in circulation around the world, though it is not yet clear if the COVID subvariant BA.2 can reinfect people who caught an earlier version of the Omicron strain. According to the organization, since the discovery of the Omicron variant in the COVID-19 virus, 500,000 deaths have been reported globally. The pandemic is currently characterized by the continued rapid global spread of the Omicron variant, as the variant is now detected in almost all countries. Top European Union officials have said that low absorption of COVID-19 vaccines in African countries had become the main problem in the global vaccine rollout, following a recent increase in the supplies of jabs. European Union's diplomats have said that vaccines with short shelf life, limited storage facilities, poor healthcare infrastructure, and vaccine hesitancy were among the main reasons that hampered the vaccination in Africa. Meanwhile, Afghanistan's healthcare system is crumbling as the coronavirus surge across the country. As per reports, only 5 hospitals in Afghanistan still offer COVID-19 treatment, with 33 others having been forced to close in recent months for lack of doctors, medicines, and even heating. This comes the economically devastating nation is hit by a steep rise in the number of reported coronavirus cases. The healthcare system has worsened the humanitarian crisis in the country. The Omicron coronavirus variant is likely hitting Afghanistan hard, as the country is still waiting for medical equipment kits that test specifically for the variant. More than 5.7 million people worldwide have died of the virus, including more than 900,000 in the United States alone. Reportedly, 10,900 people are dying each day from the COVID-19 globally.
Now on to more local stories. Urban Development Authority has planned to open a new investment centre in Jayala Ekala for the development projects related to supply facilities. The project will be carried out on the instructions of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Foreign exchange worth $50 million has been assured through this project by only providing storage facilities within the first 10 years. The Urban Development Authority is set to utilize this project to encourage local investors and to provide lands belonging to Urban Development Authority for investment projects on competitive basis through government procurement process. This investment project will be commenced with an investment of $6.8 billion by Access Lanka Park Private Limited in collaboration with Urban Development Authority. The aim of this initiative is to promote Sri Lanka as a supply consolidation hub. Sri Lanka will be developed into a regional supply and consolidation hub for multinational corporations through this project. The proposed project expected to create direct employments for 800 manual workers, 500 trucks-related employments, and 300 employment opportunities related to supply business. This project will be led by State Minister Nalaka Godaheva and Secretary to the Urban Development and Housing Ministry Sirinimal Pereira. The check relevant for the lease agreement was presented to Chairman of the Urban Development Authority, Major General Udayanana Akara, by Managing Director of Access Engineering Company, Rohana Fernando.
Minister Dallas Alahaparama says that the theory of demand and supply should not be applicable for mass media. He made these remarks while taking part in the 67th anniversary of the Sri Lanka Press Association held at the Foundation Institute of Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka Press Association is considered as a pioneer and main media organization in the country. The association was founded on October 9, 1955 under the leadership of renowned journalist Venerable Uda Kandawala Sri Saranankarathera. 5 veteran journalists were felicitated in line with the 67th anniversary of the association for the services rendered to the media industry. Secretary General of UNESCO Sri Lanka Dr. Punchanilame Migaswatha was present at this occasion. Minister Dallas Alahaparama said that the present-day journalists represent for the needs of their respective employee while neglecting the needs of the viewers and audience, which affects the balance in media. He further said that the media across the world have crossed beyond the line of personal space, which is a tragedy. He added that the credibility of media continue to deteriorate as information has been crafted based on assumptions and opinions without based on facts. The minister emphasized that the theory of demand and supply in economics should not be applicable for mass media.
Governor of Central Bank Ajit Niwad Cabral says the banking industry should be transformed to cater for the global standards considering new industry advancements. He added that the necessity for the next generation of bankers to be equipped with the skills required to work in the global banking industry. He made these remarks while taking part in a ceremony held at the Institute of Bankers of Sri Lanka.
I believe it's a time for us to reflect on the needs for the next decade and how we should fashion our future as we go forward. I believe the IBSL is now come of age, having started in 1964, and today in 2022, I think the vision for the IBSL would need to be also in keeping with the next wave of development that would occur in the banking field. I also would like you to reflect the banking industry is not a local industry anymore. It is a global industry. And if it is a global industry, you will need to cater to the global standards. The products that would come out of the IBSL would necessarily have to be able to work anywhere in the world. So then you'll have to also prepare the students and the new breed and the new generation for that new standard. That's challenging, no doubt. But I'm sure if you can take that view, you would be able to provide that service for the globalized industry that you are in. And I think it's now time for this to be put into action quickly so that you have different layers of graduates as well as diploma holders as well as other professionals who would come out of this institution who can truly represent the globalized industry of banking.
Come on everybody, 25 years of service. 25 years, ladies and gentlemen.
State Minister Thalaka Barasuriya commends Japan for the cooperation extended towards Sri Lanka while remaining on a neutral stance. These remarks were shared during a media briefing held at the Government Information Department today over the 70th anniversary of bilateral relations between Sri Lanka and Japan. Director General of Government Information Mohan Samaranayaka said that Sri Lanka is faced with an immense pressure internationally after defeating LTTE within the military aspect. Accordingly, he added that Japan, while remaining on a neutral stance, refrained from voting when Sri Lanka was recently pressured on international level. He further said that even remaining neutral at such instances would assist the country. The Director General of Government Information said that Sri Lanka has the ability to transform Japan into a wider market. He further said that Japan is a massive potential in terms of education, cultural affairs and person-to-person relations.
Peoples to peoples relations. Janata සම්බන්ධතා පැත්තෙන් ජපානයේ විශාල විභවතාවක් තිබෙන සහිත රාජ්‍යයක්.
State Minister Thalaka Barasuriya said that the government is in the process of prioritizing economic diplomacy. He said that Sri Lanka has received many investments from Japan. He added that even though Japan may had the intention to increase the investment to Sri Lanka than in the 1960s, the country may have not received such investment due to the neutral stance of Japan as well as geopolitics prevailed in the South Asian region in the past. However, he believes that South Asian region will have more importance in the next couple of years.
Several projects are currently in motion under the selected Ecosystem Conservation and Management Program. This program has been initiated under the Ecosystem Conservation and Management Project. Many projects have been initiated in line with the nutrition programs for wild animals in national parks, including Yala and Lunugam Vehera. In parallel to these programs, tank restructuring, livelihood development, as well as tourism promotion projects have also been initiated for the residents in the surrounding parts of the forests. At present, Galvila Environmental Park in Karulagaswewa is under development and the park have been opened for the tourists. National Television's Vessagiri crew was able to travel in this park recently. The Vessagiri program, produced by Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation at the park, will telecast on the national television at 7 p.m. tomorrow.
And that's it for tonight's news. Do it just tomorrow at the very same time. Stay safe. Good night.
Good night.